Welcome back, Outlaws. Today, we're going to be unboxing and setting up our Berkey water filter. We'll also be going over a water filter hack that you don't want to miss. We chose the big Berkey 2.25 gallon model. We decided to get this water filter because we have a well. The water contains lots of minerals that add a bad taste to the water. So we wanted to try this filter to see if it would make the water taste any better. We chose the 2.25 gallon model because we usually have just 2 people that would be using it, and maybe 4 at the most. Let's get this thing unwrapped and see what we got inside. It seems to be pretty well packaged and wrapped up. This looks like the water filters that we'll be installing later, and some of the hardware that goes with it. Even though it's pretty straightforward and simple to put together, read your instructions because there's a lot of helpful tips on putting your filter together and priming your filter elements. As you can see right here, this is where your spigot's attached. It's a plastic spigot, which I'll probably upgrade to a metal one later. This filter can accommodate 4 elements. These white plugs are to plug the holes in case you only just use 2. This here is the little knob that goes on the lid. Let's go ahead and put this thing together so we can test it out. As I mentioned earlier, they do make a metal spigot, and I'll probably replace this plastic one and keep it as a backup and use the metal one instead. Now let's check out these filter elements. The micropores within the purification elements are really small. In fact, they're so small they filter out food coloring. As I mentioned earlier, this filter can accommodate up to 4 filtration elements. We're just going to use 2, so those white plugs we're going to stick in the holes for the other 2 filters that we're not going to be using. I would consider this step the most important part to setting up your water filter, and that's priming the water filter elements. The pores on the elements are so fine that air is trapped within the pores, and sometimes the surface tension of the water in the upper tank is not enough to push the water through. So you have to prime these, make sure that they're fully saturated in order for the water to filter through. I don't know about anybody else, but this seemed like a pretty cumbersome process, and I ended up spraying a lot of water everywhere and didn't really saturate the filters like I thought they should be saturated. After priming the first water filter, I started thinking, what if I didn't have a faucet or a spigot to do this with? What if all I had was a river, a pond, or a stream? That would pose a problem in priming my water filtration elements. As you can see here, after quite some time, I finally have this one primed enough to where I think it will work. But not to worry, here's a better way. Here's a water filter priming hack. We won't be using this anymore. We'll save it and use it as a backup when we need it. There has got to be a better way. There was no way that I could get this to really fully seat against the faucet, so I'm just not going to use it anymore. It got me to thinking, and I came up with a better solution. Using a water bottle. By using a few parts that I got from the hardware store, like a piece of tubing and a small brass barbed fitting. I drilled a hole in the water bottle cap and screwed the fitting in there with a small washer so it would seal. The tubing is 3/8 inch ID diameter. This will fit perfectly on the end of the filter element to start priming. As you can see here, I used about a foot of the tubing. That allowed me enough flexibility to where I can move the filter and the water bottle around separately. By gently squeezing the bottle, you're able to prime the filter and get it fully saturated. By using this method, you're able to keep bottled water and use it at any time to prime your filters. This will also ensure that you have clean water to prime your water filter elements with at any time. The other benefit of doing this is you don't have to take your water filter element out of your Berkey to do this. You can prime both of your filters or all of your filters while still in the Berkey. I like this the best. So goodbye to the old priming method. Now that we've got it all put together, the filters are all primed and in place, let's get this thing filled up and see what it'll do. I can hear the water dripping. Sounds like it's starting to get the job done. Well, let's give it a taste. Now that's a good glass of water. Thanks for watching.